Hey everyone, I'm Justin with AmericanTrucks.com, and today we're taking a closer look at and showing you how to install the Barricade CatGuard skid plate fitting all 2019 and newer Ram 1500s. Now the Barricade skid plate that we have here today will do a great job of protecting your cats not only off-road, but also from would-be thieves, while also offering some protection for the plastic trans pan at the same time. Now the Barricade will feature a burly 3mm thick steel plate finished in a black powder coat, along with a simple bolt-on install, all for right around that $200 price point. So the number one feature to talk about here at the Barricade is protection. And when talking about your truck's catalytic converters, that means two things nowadays: protection off-road, but more importantly, protection on-road from thieves. Now, I'm sure a lot of you guys watching this are well aware of the fact that cat theft is getting a little out of control. And if you live in an area that is hard hit by this, then adding the CatGuard skid plate from Barricade will certainly be helpful in keeping those cats in place at all times. Now, staying with protection a bit longer here, guys, and another area where this will come in handy is protecting the plastic transmission pan off-road, which can be prone to breakage. And then the final bolt-on here is the combination of the simple bolt-on install, but also with some access to things like your oil filter and drain plug, which prevents you from having to take the skid plate off every time you do an oil change. Moving into construction, and the Barricade is packing the toughness you'd expect out of a skid plate. In this case, you're looking at a 3mm thick steel plate build that has been CNC cut into some areas for ventilation, in addition to those access areas we just talked about. Now that steel plate is finished off in a durable matte black powder coat. That's done, of course, to keep things looking good and to prevent any corrosion long-term on that steel plating. Price point for the Barricade option will land around $200, give or take a bit, which does make this one of the more affordable cat protection skid plates currently on the site at this time, coming in a little bit less than both the ScurdyCat, Rival, and also the FS Performance options. Last but not least, let's get into the installation, and the site's gonna call this a solid 1 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter here, thanks to the bolt-on install, taking you, I would say, an hour at absolute most to complete from start to finish. Now to give you a better idea of what you're in for at home, let's throw it out to the garage for our detailed walkthrough and tool breakdown.
Tools required for this install include a ratchet, a 1/4-inch socket, an 18mm socket, and the included security Torx bit. What's up, guys? Today we're installing a CatGuard skid plate on our Ram, so let's get started. So we're gonna start off by lifting our skid plate up onto these 2 studs on the cross member, and then we have a nut that we're gonna thread onto those bolts. And now you can reach through that little access hole and thread that nut on. Do it on both sides and just leave it loose for now until we get our hardware in the back to fit into place. So now at the back of our skid plate, we've got this little V shape cut out in our cross member. So we're gonna take one of these nut plates, slide it in there. You're gonna have that threaded hole pretty much in that little loop. And then we've got our Torx bolt with a lock washer and flat washer that we're gonna slide through the slotted hole, and then a spacer. And then just line this up and get the thread started. If it rotates, just rotate it back. And then just thread that in until it bottoms out. And then in this kit, you get a nice little impact driver, security Torx bit. Now, if you don't have an impact driver, you can take a 1/4-inch socket and it'll fit in there perfectly, and you can use that to tighten it down. And then repeat that same process on the other side. And now take an 18mm socket through this access hole and tighten down that nut. And do the same thing on the other side. So that'll wrap up this review and install of the Barricade CatGuard skid plate for your 2019 and newer Ram 1500. Thank you for watching, and for all things Ram, keep it right here at AmericanTrucks.com.